Wajia Sharif. I'm going to do a summary of letters of Abelard and Eloise. So the summary is written by the late John Hughes. Um, Pierre Abelard and Eloise both were prominent intellectuals of the 12th century of France. Abelard he was a noble birth of um, and 18 years the senior of Eloise. And he was an instructor of philosophy. So he was a friend of Eloise's uncle, Filbert, who introduced the two under the impression that Abelard was going to, instruct her on philosophy. Well, while instructing on her on philosophy, the two of them fell in love and they had a passionate affair. Little did they both know they were going to pay dear consequences for this love affair. So once Filbert the uncle found out, chaos broke through. He kicked Albert out of the home and ultimately got him exiled out of France because I guess back then it was forbidden for an older man to sleep with a younger woman under the pretenses of you befriending somebody and then wanting to be with their niece or whatever. So he became a monk and she went into covenant. And through that, they began to write each other these love letters. And through the love letters, you can just, if you read them, you can feel the passion that these two people felt with one another and how much they loved each other. And this is just the story goes with them. This is how they wind up spending the rest of their lives.
What part of the story contributed to you understanding the culture, values, and society in which the time the story takes place? In what ways?
Well, just from by the harsh punishment they both did, becoming monks and trying to repent for what they thought were a sin back then. Him becoming a monk and her moving into covenant lets me know like their culture back then was pretty much strict, and the uncle was a church official, so that was just like forbidden, him sleeping with his niece. So they thought by him becoming a monk never to have sex again with another woman is punishment enough.
Which moments, scenes in the story contribute to your understanding of your own culture and the values of your society, and in what ways?
Again, just reading the love letters made me understand a clear understanding how back then in the 12th century is so different than the ways we do things now. Back then it was like taboo or forbidden, and today we have the freedom of choice to love who we love, as long as it's not taken like too far, like it's not like being a pedophile or something like that. But like you won't become a monk if you fall in love with someone much younger or even someone much older than you. Nowadays it's all freedom of choice. Nowadays you even have the choice of falling in love with the same sex today. You can even marry someone of the same sex today versus back then. I'm sure I can imagine they probably would have been hung if they married the same sex back in the 12th century.
Would you recommend this story to others? Why or why not?
I definitely would recommend this story to others, especially a person that loves to read and loves just the feeling of the word love and love being in love. This is a good story because the letters again are so passionate, and you could just feel just by reading their words how much they loved each other and how much they missed each other, and just how drastically their lives have changed just from falling in love. And love is supposed to be a beautiful thing, but back then it was just made so ugly and just it's sad. But I would definitely recommend the story um, because it's a good tool. It's a good learning tool to see how people's lives were ran back then. Society pretty much dictated how people lived back then, whereas though versus today, like society doesn't really have that much say so in how where you live, who you love, how you love, and when you love. It's just it's so different. But I would definitely recommend the story too.